Irish company Kollect on Demand closed their books today for the third quarter of 2022. And with me here today on link, I have its CFO, Jamie Walsh. Good day, Jamie.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am doing just fine. How are you doing? You just released a report.
Yeah, very well, thanks. And we're very pleased with the contents of the report that went out this morning.
Indeed, and we'll go through it now. Revenue for the quarter landed at 18.5 million SEK, an increase from last year's third quarter of 15 million. The result of the period is more or less in line with last year's third quarter of negative 3.6 million. Are you satisfied with these results?
Yeah, we're very satisfied with the results, given the growth in revenue year on year, as well as the reduction in operating expenses during the same period. And that's just comparing the year on year. Comparing to quarter on quarter, we saw an EBITDA improvement of about 58%, which to be able to do in just one quarter, we're very pleased to be able to do.
But what about gross margin? I noticed that it had taken a soft decrease both year on year and quarter to quarter.
Yeah, so what we're seeing with our gross margin in the individual business lines, we're maintaining strong margins. But what's driving the overall or the consolidated margin is actually the revenue mix. So there's no margin pressure individually. It's just about the different services that we sell. We're always trying to sell the highest margin businesses, but we expect the margin to remain strong, sort of in and around the range we're at the moment.
What are some of your higher gross profitable activities, and what are some of your less profitable?
So for us, we're always focusing on obviously the big bin. I think people should be well aware of the big bin and its profitability at this point, and how much emphasis we put on the big bin. But also within our platform business, it's our junk. It's our man with the van junk. That's our high margin business. Lower margin would be for skips, the container hire. So we're always focusing on junk rather than skips.
We'll talk more about the big bin in a moment, but the total costs have shown a decrease of 28%. What costs have you cut, and have the effects of these cost cuts been in line with your expectations?
Yeah, so I think we mentioned in the presentation that, in the report that we had reduced headcount, and I think some of that was natural as a result of the disposal of the bin business, but we also had to make some difficult changes. We were fortunate that the investment that we've been making in our technology, in the back-end technology, over the past number of quarters, has provided us with a good platform to be able to make those changes to the business and to not have any impact on productivity within the remaining operations. So we were also then pleased to have expected to see that and then to be able to deliver that internally without any additional stress to the business and the day-to-day operations. So yes, in line with expectations.
Is the focus now to continue to decrease cost, or to have the cost remain at the current level and increase top line?
I would say a bit of both. I think we're always looking to be more efficient and to be more productive. But I think, we've made a big change already, just as I was saying earlier, moving from Q2 to Q3, especially being able to grow the revenue at the same time. So we're always going to continue to try and grow revenue. We think that's one thing we're very good at, is customer acquisition. And that doesn't mean we're not going to pay attention to reducing costs, though.
Let's move then towards one of the activities you're currently doing towards that end. And I read now from the report there is an undeniable trend towards digitalization for today's consumer. You talk about your new e-commerce website in this context, and that launched towards the end of the quarter. I thought you could talk to us a little bit more about the website. What are the new functions?
Yeah, brilliant. So the new website, it's more user-friendly, and it's also more educational for customers. It gives them a better understanding as to what the right service is for them, because just because you have some waste there, it doesn't necessarily mean that any solution fits you. You might have time pressure, you might have different types of waste, a variety of different things. Might mean you might choose solution A rather than solution B. So our new website helps educate the customer as to what's the right solution for them. And it also does it in a very user-friendly way. I think there's a lot of emphasis been put on UI and UX, and for when customers are actually on the site, they know where to go. They're going to the right places in the right time, whilst also making it a much more easy to understand and enjoyable process for the customer.
So user friendliness and onboarding, we can kind of summarize that too. But I'm curious because your growth journey, I assume you want to continue, of course. I was thinking when you eventually launch some new services, how easy is it now to kind of implement those into this new website?
Yeah, and exactly that's part of what we've sort of future-proofed ourselves for, I would say here. And again, that comes hand in hand with the back end as well. The front end is the project that we've just delivered, and that's the consumer facing. It's nice and clean, easy to follow, easy to understand, so that when we're adding new services, we are adding it. We're able to maintain it clean. It's not messy. Customers know where to go, what they want. And then that also integrates then seamlessly with the back end, so that means we can continue to grow in a productive and efficient manner.
We continue to see the allocation of non-recurring revenue and recurring revenue, and with the new launch of the new site, are you hoping to attract non-recurring revenue, or are you hoping to attract recurring revenue?
Well, we're always hoping to attract both, but the site is primarily driven at non-recurring revenue. That's the B2C, the consumer-facing site, and that's what most people will see if you go onto Kollect.ie today. That's built for the consumer. There is, however, a strong commercial aspect to the business. There is also a commercial section, to the website, which is for our commercial customers or our potential commercial customers to get a very easy to understand narrative as to what the company does, the services we provide, and the manner in which we provide them, so that they understand what we do, when we do it, and how that's beneficial to them.
And what is the next step here? You want to continue digitalizing?
Exactly. We think, that as we stated in the report, there is an undeniable trend. I think that was certainly exaggerated and sped up by COVID. But it's a path that the whole world's been on. We like to think we're at the front of that within the waste industry, and to continue to invest in the digitalization and to create services that our customers want. That's really the future for us, yeah.
Let's then move now on to the Big Bin operation. 3 new sites in Bishopstown, Tubbercurry and Clane. Tell us more about Big Bin and how the operations have developed during the quarter.
Yeah, so I think it's obviously very important for us that we've been rolling out new sites quarter on quarter, and it's always great to bring that to new areas and to new cohorts of customers. These sites in particular have been a target for some time, so it was great to actually to have them launched. That was a really big development for us in the quarter to launch those. We've also been continuing to invest in the Big Bin technology project, which is the back end of the Big Bins.
I was just about to ask, how does the Big Bins fit into your digitalization?
Sure. So there's probably 2 aspects to that. I think, again, there's the consumer-facing aspect, which is having an online presence, which is encouraging account creation rather than in-store purchases. And again, creating an education piece on our website for customers who aren't sure what the Big Bin is. They might see a Big Bin on a petrol station forecourt and see the branding, but not really understand who the target is, whether it's right for them. And so to be able to create that customer-facing digitalization site and that project, that's a big thing for us. On the back end, then it's also about the technology that's in the back end, which opens up the servers and the bins and retains all of the customer information, and it makes sure that all works in a seamless manner, that the bins don't break, that we continue to get good customer information, that we can also then use the back end technology, we can digitalize that. And to create innovative pricing models and things like that. That's all part of our Big Bin digitalization strategy.
My last question regards your cash reserves, because you leave the quarter with a burn rate of 5.6 million crowns, and you leave the quarter now with 10.6 million crowns in your cash reserves. What is the plan to finance continued investments into your digitalization?
Sure. So reducing the EBITDA losses is the first big step in slowing that cash burn. And I think we've seen that, and we've seen the path that we've been on over the past, certainly the past two, but going back the past few quarters. In this quarter as well, and including the cash burn that you were just talking about there was a significant investment in the big bins from existing cash resources. Now, big bins themselves are well suited to debt financing, so that's something we're always looking at. And we've raised the debt financing for big bins in the past, so that could also help with reduce the cash burn that's not operating, not from operating processes. But there's also a significant investment in our e-commerce project, in our intangible assets, and that project's come to an end. So we're likely to see that element of our cash outflows slow down as we go forward.
And we'll see how that develops. Jamie Walsh, CFO of Kollect On Demand. That was all of my questions, but I wish both you and Kollect continued luck in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and thanks for your time.